Hey, what's up everybody? So I wanted to make a quick video talking about a story that is developing in the United Arab Emirates of a British woman who was gang raped while on vacation in the UAE by two British nationals who were also in the UAE in Dubai. And basically she was arrested because the UAE has laws in place where if you have any kind of sexual contact outside of marriage, you can go to jail for that if the authorities find out. And I actually covered a story, something that was almost the exact same thing. I will say about 3 years ago on my channel, of a Norwegian woman, and the exact same thing happened to her, where basically she was raped in a hotel and she was jailed. And I tell people, a lot of these Middle Eastern Gulf countries might look like oh, they're so futuristic, they have all this development, there's so much money flowing there, but there's definitely a dark underside to Dubai and the other Gulf states. I mean, in UAE they use slave labor, and it's shocking some of the human rights violations that are occurring there. But back to this story, this British tourist was basically gang raped by two people. They haven't released her name. And the two people who raped her were basically able to fly home, which is shocking. And it just blows my mind away, like reading this story. It just shows like in other parts of the world, they live in such a 15th century worldview. And I'm sorry I sound a little funny right now. I'm still sick, but it's shocking, man. And the fact that they're holding this person in jail after she was sexually assaulted like this, I wouldn't recommend any decent human being visiting a country like this, such as the UAE, Saudi Arabia, a lot of these different countries. It's like, yeah, they might have all this oil money. That doesn't mean they know how to act right. It's like the one quote in Paid in Full, where the one guy who owns the laundromat, he's like, he got all that money, but he don't know how to act right. You know what I'm saying? And that's sort of how I view the Gulf states. It's like they have all this oil money, but they still live as if it's the 16th or probably even like the 7th century or whatever. And the reason that a lot of Western countries don't condemn these countries and their abhorrent human rights violations is because they have that oil. It's like Saudi Arabia is basically a desert without much in it except oil. And yeah, you'll see all these nice, cities that are like so modernized and this and that. But once again, that's all a facade. They use slave labor to, build up their cities. People will come there, or like people from Southeast Asia will go there, and they're promised all these, they're promised a certain wage, all these different things or whatever. And then they basically take their passports and force them to work for nothing. There's been dozens of documented cases where migrant workers have died, have been beaten, raped, and it's just abhorrent. And the sooner we get, and I live in the United States, the sooner we get off of this oil that comes from the Middle East, the better, because it's every time you put gas in your vehicle, it's like you're giving money to a regime that's just, it's repulsive, man. And yeah, and a lot of people will say, oh, it's not the religion, they're twisting it. Nah, man, it's like you gotta look at how Muhammad was back in the day. And this is the thing. A lot of people, they don't want to admit that their religions, such as Christianity, Islam, aren't at their root barbaric. Like there's stories in the Quran where basically Muhammad, he did war crimes. He conquered cities. He launched offensive wars against his neighbors, and he conquered people, sold people into sex slavery. Same shit in the Bible. There's one story in the Bible where basically they killed every man in the city, and then they took all the women and children as slaves. I mean, it's just disgusting, repulsive senses of morality coming out of these books. And the sooner we get away from religion, the better, because stuff like this is going to continue to happen. I hope they free this British national. I think the British government needs to start putting sanctions on these countries that want to, act like this. They need to say, hey, look, if you don't release her immediately and compensate her, then we want to freeze your fucking assets, Oh well. So that's all I have to say about that. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment. I know my voice sounds a little funny because I'm like recovering from the flu or whatever, but I just wanted to make this video because it's something that it shocked me when I saw this. So that's all I have to say, and peace out, y'all.